Let's just start with some of the leftist reaction, because what they're claiming they're mad about is that during Trump's phone call with the boys from the locker room, he made a joke. And in the joke, he said, I want you to come to the White House. Kash Patel clearly called the president on his phone because it's Kash holding his phone. You can see he's got him programmed in as DT. I would like to speak to the FBI director about his code. Trump's talking to the guys, saying all the fun things and congratulating them. And then he says, come to the White House or come to the State of the Union. And he said, we're going to have to invite the women's team as well, or I'll be impeached. We have it here.
What would really be cool, and we'll do the White House the next day, we'll just have some fun. We have medals for you guys. And we have to, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay?
So first of all the young men, you could hear them chanting, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, meaning yes, do it, because the women won gold too. And lots of screams of, yeah, like bring them. But somehow the left would like to parlay this into a controversy about misogynistic young men. And even Trump's comment as misogynistic as opposed to a joke, an obvious joke. And even if it wasn't a joke, like, do we have to pretend that there's equal interest in men's sports versus women's? I mean, like, if men held a beauty pageant contestant, nobody would watch, right? Or fewer would watch than would watch the women. There are a lot of things that women can do. Women in the reality shows are fun. They're colorful. They're emotional. They're interesting to watch. I don't think like a bunch of guys would be able to carry a reality show in that way because they're more stoic. They don't talk about themselves as much. There's the old joke, like a guy gets a divorce and the husband of a different wife goes out on the golf course with him for 10 hours. He comes home and the wife is like, what did he say about the divorce? And nothing, I didn't ask him. What do you mean? Michelle Obama actually told that exact story about Barack, but it's like a meme. Anyway, the point is there are lots of things that make women fascinating and interesting and people want to tune into them depending on what they're doing. Sports is one of them, but to pretend that it's as compelling in the eyes of the American people as men's sports, men who have the prowess that comes with being a larger size species and the testosterone and all of this stuff. It's just fucking ridiculous how we have to pretend it's perfectly equal and there's just as much interest in the women. Okay, no, I don't think there is. But in any event, Trump was making a joke. Okay, but I'm going to show you a little of the leftist meltdown over the fact that Trump did that. The guys didn't hang up on him. And then they agreed to go to the State of the Union, SOT 9.
I had no idea that the U.S. men's hockey team warmed up by licking boots.
That when the men's U.S. hockey team issues their official apology, I hope that nobody forgives them. They no longer had to treat the women as equals. They were allowed to let their true emotions out. Legitimately to the U.S. men's hockey team, fuck you. The women won gold before you did.
To watch that, knowing everything that's going on was nauseating.
The U.S. men's hockey team who decided to giggle with the United States president. Just so you know, that's a very weird way to say that you all have small peepees.
It only took you like 37 seconds from getting off of the ice from your game into the locker room to disappoint the entire goddamn country, you loser bitches.
Do not trust her.
Well, that was a fun 10 minutes. Patriotism, United States, I hate you more and more every day. Donald Trump, I hate you. Hughes Brothers, that was embarrassing, and I hope your mother hits you.
Andrew, help us out here.
Well, first of all, this is a problem. An actual problem in the country is that we're now dealing with two parties. We're a two-party system. One of our parties are the Republicans, who range from the incompetent to the somewhat interesting. The other side of the Democrats, who are now powered by forces that don't want this country to exist, that think it's bad that this country exists, that thinks that any show of patriotism is some kind of fascist idea being expressed, that wants all of our monuments, whether it's George Washington's home in Mount Vernon Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson's home. They want them all dedicated to the institution of slavery instead of to the people that people go there to see. This is an actual attitude. It's at the heart of the Democrat Party, though not all Democrats. I mean, there are plenty of patriotic, decent Democrats who just don't know what they're voting for anymore. And so everything gets politicized at a level that is completely inappropriate. First of all, if you're going to tell me that men go into a locker room and make jokes about women, I'm just shocked. I am just shocked. The fact that I can still sit in this chair after hearing this news is incredible. And I actually have heard, though I shudder to believe it, that women, when they get together, discuss men and even roll their eyes at some of the things that men do. This is part of life that actually I find kind of delightful and at the heart of all joy and creativity in life. But no, it's apparently a terrible, terrible thing. So all of this stuff, I mean, when Alyssa Liu, this skater, did that incredible routine and won and was attacked for having some kind of woke ideas, I didn't hear the right actually pick up on that at all. You know, that they thought like, yeah, it's great. We won, our America won the gold medal in skating with a fantastic routine. But the left was mocking us because they knew that if she had expressed pro-Trump ideas, there would have been death threats against her and she would have been absolutely, rejected by the left. So we're really dealing with two different ways of seeing the country. This is different than what was happening before. It used to be, let's say 40 years ago, it used to be that the two parties were on either side, as Barack Obama once said, of the 50-yard line. One thought the government should do a little more, one thought the government should do a little less, but we all thought that this was a great place to be. We all honored our founders, we all honored our founding. That is over now. And until people start to understand that that's the argument we're in, that we're not in an argument, for instance, about whether illegal immigrants should be deported or not, we're in an argument about whether the country should exist, whether there is in fact there are no illegals on stolen land, which means this country should not exist, is an actual non-entity morally. So everything is about that conversation. And what we are always in the position of doing is playing backup. We're always being attacked and then having to answer the attacks. We're playing defense all the time instead of saying, no, we love this country. The Huffington Post attacked people for waving flags after the male hockey victory. I'm not hearing anything about that. We weren't supposed to express patriotism in this terrible time of crisis when Donald Trump is president. And unlike you, Megyn, I can't use the language you use because I'm in the presence of a lady and you're not. My response to that is 2 words long, and the second one is you. I don't understand why I can't wave my flag for this country, which is an amazing country, a beautiful country, a great country. I don't even have to add it's not a perfect country because nothing in life is perfect. But I just feel that this division is one we haven't cottoned onto yet. And the media, which largely sides with the left, works hard not to cotton onto it. We're not discussing what this great country should do, whether it should go forward a little to the left or a little to the right. We're discussing whether this country should exist and be celebrated. And if you don't think that's true, you only have to look at the nations of Europe, Britain, Germany, where waving flags has basically gone completely out of fashion. And because of that, they're losing their identities altogether.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced financial strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind, regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. I think the vast majority of these women, and there are men too, will play them, they're not actually offended at all by the fact that these guys reacted the way they did to the Trump call. They do hate Trump, but they're not offended by the way the guys reacted at all. They were offended at them, period. They are incapable of celebrating a great moment brought to us by white young men. They are incapable. They resent them. They hate them. They feel that they are the source of all of society's problems and ills. And there is something stomach turning for them at watching the nation rally behind men like that. There aren't enough men of color. There are no non-binaries on the team. There are no women on this particular team, even though they have their own team. They're unapologetically patriotic, as is apparently in the culture of USA hockey, especially men's hockey. And all of that was offensive to these people before they saw that phone call, before the guys said they would go to the State of the Union. They were looking for a reason to hate them, to declare their hatred for them. And these guys did not give it to them. I mean, listen, let's just listen to the President Trump phone call one more time. Listen to their reaction. They're enthusiastic. As soon as he mentions the women, they're like, yeah, they love the women's team. Sure. They trained with the women's team. They've talked about it. We'll play some of it, but just play the Trump bite one more time.
What would really be cool, and we'll do the White House the next day, we'll just have some fun. We have medals for you guys. And we have to, I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. 2 for 2. What, virtually every guy there was in favor of it, Andrew. But these leftists need to hate these guys.
Have you ever heard, I mean, again, it just doesn't go both ways. We are dealing with two entirely different attitudes toward the country. Have you ever heard Republicans get upset if a basketball team won by saying like, oh, there are too many black people on this team? Of course right. Not. We understand that different, sports attract different kinds of people. And there are a million kinds of people in this country, and they're all Americans if they support America. I think that this is just part of a mindset. It's like they're high on their own supply. They've been selling division, selling racial hatred, selling identity hatred all this time, and now they've caught it. Now they've caught, we all started out saying, hey, racism is wrong. We got to stop treating black people badly according to their race. We all were kind of moving in that direction. But the left, no, it's not the racism that's wrong. We were just racist against the wrong people. Now we're racist against white people, and it's fine. Now it's fine. They sit around and talk about women. They don't even believe women exist. They do not even believe women exist. Not one of them can define a woman. So what are they talking about when they're against, when we say, the men's sports and women's sports are different? That is just a truth. I mean, it is just a truth that men's sports, with the exception of tennis, which is an important exception, but with the exception of tennis, that men's sports attract more people because men are more into sports, and the men are of a higher excellence than the women are. It's just the way it is. It's like, why are we prosecuting reality? We're prosecuting reality because in reality, people are unequal. In reality, freedom is good. In reality, America is good. And so we're attacking all those things because we're hoping to create this utopian idea that has just infected the minds of so many people. It is just, it's dangerous.
But it's so annoying because they try. I mean, you really have to try to not let them rain on your parade, right. But they try. I'm thinking about, let's take the news business or let's take the acting business. There's no sexism in terms of the audience and their ability to appreciate a male or a female news anchor right. or podcaster for that matter. None. It is a pure meritocracy. I can speak to that, having been at the top of both industries. When I was at Fox, my show was #1 and we crushed all competition across the demo. And we even wound up beating Bill O'Reilly, who had been the long-term ratings leader for years in that key advertising demo. A female. So it was, nobody cared. In Hollywood too, there's the male Oscar, there's the female Oscar, but there are mega female stars, just like there are mega male stars. You don't get much bigger than a Julia Roberts back in her day, especially. But now, there's a lot of other ones that we could name. So there are many industries where there's total parity amongst men and women. Now, women have a USA hockey team, and they went to the Olympics and won gold, and they were celebrated universally. Women have a soccer team, which is actually quite popular. Soccer is female soccer is very, very popular, including the women's team, notwithstanding people like Megan Rapinoe who have tried to absolutely ruin it. But it is, sports in general is generally going to favor the men, and viewers generally prefer watching men play sports for the reasons I stated at the top: male prowess, male athleticism, the male figure, the male muscular and musculoskeletal system, male testosterone, male reaction speed, male aggression, all the things that have made men for thousands of years translate very well into athletics, and they're fun to watch in that way. And they are more aggressive. They're more aggressive in virtually every single way. So it's like, it's just absurd that we have to resort to sexism if there's not an equal amount of interest in what the women are. Just stop, okay? Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.